Hello everyone, hope you guys are all doing well. Today, as you could tell from the intro, I want to talk about Bryan's forward 2-1-2. So there's a few reasons that I wanted to make this video. Namely because I get a lot of questions asking me why I'm doing this string so much when I stream, and what makes it so good. So I want to answer those questions in this video, and also just because when I watch Bryan players or when I coach them, I notice that a lot of them are misusing their heat and they're using a lot of 3+4-2 and things like that, and they're not really doing forward 2-1-2. And I think that a lot of Bryan players are also underestimating his heat and how good it can be, mostly just because of this string. So I just wanted to make this video and show you guys how broken this move really is, and why I genuinely do think that it is the best move that Bryan has in this game. It wasn't clickbait. I do genuinely think that this is the best thing that he has in Tekken 8. So without further ado, we're just going to start, and we'll talk about the properties of the move a little bit and what makes it so good, and we'll go from there. Alright, so like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about the properties. So forward 2-1-2, the entire string is obviously forward 2-1-2, 3-2. For the sake of time, I guess, I'm just going to refer to it as forward 2-1-2 string in this video. But just so you guys know what I'm talking about this full string right here. So this string is a string that you get access to when you have Snake Eyes, and when you have heat you have unlimited Snake Eyes during the duration of your heat, but each Snake Eyes move you use will drain some of your heat bar. So let's talk really quick about what makes this move so good. So when this string first came out, it was pretty underwhelming. The last hit, I believe, was launch punishable. The third and the fourth hit were unsafe, and it wasn't hit confirmable. All that is different now. You can delay the third and the fourth hit of this string, which makes it fully hit confirmable. It tracks really well. It does good damage. It's a great taunt follow-up. It breaks walls. It breaks balconies. It interacts with all that stage stuff if you hit someone with it. If you hit someone with it at the wall, it gives taunt Oki, kind of. It's a little weird. We'll get into it later. But it's just like an amazing all-rounder string to use just in neutral to stop somebody from stepping after you hit someone with something, after they block something. Its tracking is amazing because even though the first two hits are linear, the third hit is pretty much a homing move. So if someone is in the middle of a sidewalk or a sidestep and they step the first two hits, the third hit is always going to clip them. Or if they did a sidestep guard, they're at least going to block it. I'll show some examples of that later, but just to get all this information out of the way, that is why the string is so good. It basically has very little counterplay. The last hit is -10 or -11 in the open, but pretty much no character can actually punish it in the open except for Jack, as far as I know. And like I said, the third, fourth hit are safe, hit confirmable, and they're actually only -2 and -3 respectively. So you can do the third and the fourth hit, move around, mash, do whatever you want, right? It's just an amazing string. And that last hit being there adds some mental frames to it as well, so you can be really annoying with it and treat it almost like Bryan's DF1. Decide when you're going to finish it and when you're not going to finish it. It's very, very, very rewarding. So with all that out the way, I want to show you guys some quick examples of this string versus like sidestepping and stuff like that, just to give you an idea of how strong the tracking actually is. Just to show you guys real quick how big the delay window really is on this string. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I just wanted to give you guys an example of how long you can actually delay the third and the fourth hit of this string for. I think a lot of people think that it's not as delayable as it really is, or not as hit confirmable as it really is, but you guys can see just how long you can delay this for and easily get that hit confirm in. So really good. So when I spoke earlier about the tracking on the string, I misspoke. I said the tracking was on the third hit, but it's on the second hit that tracks. It actually works the same way with forward 2-1-4. The second hit of forward 2-1 just has like incredible tracking for some reason, but this was never really super applicable before because forward 2-1-4 was unsafe and you couldn't hit confirm it. But now with this string, you totally can. So here's an example. I have the CPU set to sidewalk to the right after he blocks my back one. And as you can see, he steps the first hit, but the second hit tracks him, and then we can easily hit confirm the rest of the string because we can delay that third and that fourth hit in the string. So you can see right there, the delay window on this string is huge. So it's really easy to just hit someone out of their sidestep, confirm it, and then continue the whole string. And like I said, even if you don't hit confirm it properly, or even if you are, you know, testing someone and you finish the last hit, it doesn't matter because the string is safe in the open, you know, against almost everyone except for, as far as I know, one character. So it's -10, but there's so much pushback that it doesn't matter. And, you know, it goes the same way with if we have him, you know, sidestep right after, you know, like a hatchet kick or something like that. He's still gonna get hit by the second hit, and we can easily hit confirm the rest of it, and that's 38 damage right there, plus the damage that we got from the hatchet kick. So a lot of people also ask me all the time, like, how do I hit someone that's sidestepping, that's doing this, that's doing this? If you have snake eyes, I mean, this is just like your best bet to stop someone from sidestepping safely, because it is really, really difficult to actually get around this string. I mean, if you go left, you just get hit by the first one. If you go right, you know, you make this the first hit whiff, but the second one hits you. So after moves like back one, hatchet kick, you know, things like that where we get plus frames, this string is like almost unstoppable when it comes to just beating movement. So this is an amazing anti-step option, totally hit confirmable. And honestly, with the damage that it does, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets nerfed in the future. But for now, yeah, this is like our go-to anti-step option if we have snake eyes. So another thing that makes this string really strong is the fact that it moves Bryan forward while he's doing it, which makes it really, really hard to actually whiff the string, and it makes it really, really hard to whiff punish it because there are 5 hits in this string, and if you don't time your whiff punish like, you know, completely on point, you're gonna get hit by one of these hits and die. So there are a lot of times where I'm playing where I'm all the way out here and I'll just start doing this string, try to bait someone into trying to whiff punish me. They get hit by, like, you know, the third, the fourth, whatever hit, and, you know, they eat the rest of it, and that's, you know, more damage on the table for me. I just want to, like, get it across to you guys that this string, like, genuinely has such little counterplay to it. Like, that is what makes it so strong. It is really just like the ultimate just send it move. Like, there's so little that the opponent can do here to beat this string. And there are a couple options. I'm going to go over them shortly, just so you guys, you know, understand what you're up against when you are doing this string. But I mean, when you guys are just in neutral, when you guys are just moving around, when you guys see someone whiff something, when you guys are trying to stop someone from stepping, when you guys are just, you know, sitting around in neutral and you don't know what to do, this is just the move. It's so strong. It covers so many options at the same time. I mean, it's honestly just ridiculous that it got buffed as much as it did. But there are, like I said, some counterplay options to it. I'm going to show you guys those options now. So I would say most notably what you guys are probably going to be dealing with when doing this string is if the entire string is blocked and you try to finish the last hit, people can power crush through it. So if I block this whole string, I can power crush through the last hit. But as you can see with the health bars, it's not even a good trade for me. So now obviously depending on, you know, what character I'm playing, you know, the power crush can be a good option. Mostly I've seen it used against me when I have like no health and they have health to spare. They just do the power crush just to kill me because they know I'm going to do the last hit. They can power crush through it, and again, if you have your back to the wall and it's a wall splatting power crush or something, it can be pretty rewarding for them to make that read. But generally, if you're just in neutral in the open, it's not too bad to get hit by this power crush because, again, the last hit does a lot of damage, and they're going to have to absorb that when they power crush you. Now, there are some characters who have some better options, like Jack, for example. So if you're trying to do the string on Jack, for example, he can actually use his like Gamma Howl type power crush, absorb that, punish you with that, and then he'll absorb all that damage back that he took anyway, because that's, you know, that's how his power crush works. When it absorbs a hit and he hits you, he gets all that life back. So not only that, but he's in heat now. Pretty bad situation to be in. So you have to be careful using this versus Jack. Same thing goes for versus King. King can do the same thing with his, you know, charge up armor move, and then he gets the free hit that gives him heat. So against those two characters, it can be pretty risky to do this, or just against any character with, you know, a power crush that's decently rewarding and, you know, can beat this string. But so you do have to be careful with that. But again, that's only if you're using the last hit without confirming it. I mean, if you hit confirm the string and you don't get too crazy with it, you know, you'll still be fine, and there's still very little risk to doing the string at all. Now, one more counterplay option that you have to be aware of is that some characters can step the last hit of the string. So, for example, Nina can step the last hit just like that. So can Zafina, Lily, and Elisa. As far as I know, those are the only characters that can step it, but if you are playing against one of those characters, it's something that you have to keep in mind. I didn't even know that this was possible until I played Arslan, and he did it first interaction, and it scared the hell out of me. But yeah, that is another counterplay option that exists, so keep that in mind if you are playing against one of those characters. So another thing that's super strong about this move is that they buffed it so that it takes less heat when you use it. So just to show you guys an example of how many times you could theoretically do this move, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, obviously, this is not really going to happen. This is, you know, unrealistic. But I would say on average, you get 3 or 4 attempts at using this string while you're in heat. That is just ridiculous. And then also keep in mind that whenever you leave heat with Bryan, you always have Snake Eyes when you leave heat, when the heat is over. So that's another stock of forward 2-1-2 that you will have to use in neutral. So now compare that to 3+4-2, for example, which takes way more. It takes about double, I think. And you know, if you're just popping heat burst like this, you do 3+4-2, and you know, you can do another one. You can do, you know, a heat smash or something, but you're only really getting 2 uses of that total, and it's a lot less rewarding, you know, in the open. It can be very rewarding when your opponent's back is to the wall and you get a huge combo, all this stuff. You still have heat, but generally I see a lot of Bryan players just pop heat, start doing 3+4-2. They waste their heat bar in 2 seconds, you know, and that's that. Whereas with forward 2-1-2, it's more rewarding in the open, and you get more chances to use it. I mean, even if you pop heat and, you know, you hit someone with forward 2-1-2, you know, you have another chance to hit another forward 2-1-2, and you still have all this heat. You know, you can heat dash a move, you can do a heat smash, you can do whatever you want, right? Whereas 3+4-2 or you know, even like FF 1+2 takes more heat, and so your options are just a little more limited there with what you can do afterwards. So the fact that it takes less heat, you get to be in heat for longer. Keep in mind, when you're in heat, you deal chip damage on everything. I mean, it's just really, really strong to be in heat for longer. So forward 2-1-2 is, you know, a good way to conserve your heat bar while also putting a big threat on the screen. As I said before, it interacts with all the wall stage mechanics, you know, wall break, wall blast, wall bound, balcony break, all that stuff. So if you hit this string with, you know, someone's back to the wall, you know, like this, it can be insanely rewarding. I mean, here's just a random combo I'm just making up here, something easy. And we got 97 damage. Now keep in mind, totally hit confirmable, basically homing. I mean, safe unless you do the last hit with their back to the wall, but it's completely hit confirmable, so you have no reason to do that. And we got 97 damage off of that. And now keep in mind that since they buffed taunt scaling, this string does not scale after taunt anymore. So again, we're going to be able to get all that crazy damage from this string after taunt, right? I dropped the combo, but you get the idea. I mean, we were going to get 90 to 100 damage from that combo from a taunt follow-up, and taunt forward 2-1 is one of the easier taunt follow-ups, right? It's not super difficult. I mean, that combo I did in the beginning that did 97 damage, we could also do that after a taunt. And I mean, most of the time when you get a taunt, it's after you already got a launch and they're waking up from the wall. That's 2 combos, that's death. So on any stage that has a breakable wall, whether it's a wall break, a wall blast, a wall bound, those are the most rewarding ones. You can get some massive damage off this string. You know, and I've already talked about the tracking, the range, the safety, the hit confirmability. Like, it's so strong, and it can be so rewarding on all these stages. And I mean, just to show you guys again really quick, I mean, the third hit is -2, the fourth hit is -3. So I mean, you could really do whatever you want here. I mean, if they have an idea that you're not going to finish it, you know, they might try to check you with, you know, a mid like this, something like this, and then, you know, you just move around. I mean, electric's tracking, you know, but down back 3, DF4, you know, back 2, all this stuff is, you know, consistently getting stepped here at -3. So I mean, like I said, you can really just use this a lot like you would use any of Bryan's strings that have mental frames. I mean, the fact that you can cut it short at the third, the fourth, or finish the string, I mean, it makes it so annoying to deal with as the opponent, to try to figure out, you know, what he's going to do with this string. And I mean, the best option really most of the time is just to block it out and wait. I would also say, you know, even though the string, when, you know, your opponent's back is to the wall, you know, is unsafe, because there's no pushback there. I'll show a quick example of that really quick, just to show you guys, because as I said, it is safe in the open, but if your opponent's back is to the wall, it's not safe because there's no pushback. So really quick, just to show you guys here, I can actually punish this here. So this is the only time in the open, or well, not in the open, just with my back to the wall, that I can punish that string, because there's no pushback there with my back to the wall. But I get away with doing that a lot, even finishing it there with their back to the wall. You really want to play with it at, you know, like saving the last hit for, you know, when you kind of really need it, when you think your opponent's gonna mash. That's what I like to do with it, is to just, you know, bait, only do the fourth hit if it doesn't hit, and then, you know, at whatever point I feel like rip the fifth hit with their back to the wall, try to get that final hit in there. Especially if there's a breakable to their back, it can be insanely rewarding, and just super annoying for the opponent to deal with. So the string also gives taunt Oki at the wall. So like, for example, if we're in heat here, we hit one of these at the wall, the opponent tech rolls. That's 48 plus 49. I mean, we're reaching almost 100 damage here from just 2 interactions. One of them is a taunt follow-up. And again, keep in mind, one of the things that makes this so strong as a taunt follow-up is that, let's say we missed the taunt, right? We're late. Okay, we cut it early. It's hit confirmable. We don't need to, you know, commit. Whereas before, you know, you would miss like the taunt forward 214. Now you're unsafe. Now you're messing up. So that's why a lot of times we did the taunt DF1, because it was hit confirmable, right? But it did a lot less damage than the taunt forward 214. But now we have the best of both worlds with this string. We have damage and, you know, a hit confirmable string. So even if we mess up our taunt here, it doesn't really matter. So it's honestly just insane that this string is the way that it is. I mean, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go over with the string. Just, I mean, the fact that it does 48 damage, the fact that it's pretty much homing, the fact that it's hit confirmable. I mean, the range is insane. The combo potential is ridiculous on stages with, you know, any gimmicks. I mean, it's just an all-round amazing string. Bryan has never really had moves like this before, where it was kind of just like, send it, like, just do the move. What's the risk, right? I mean, I guess honestly it feels like the closest thing that, you know, he had to that is QC back 1 in this game. But even that string has some risk, right? I mean, or sorry, even that move has some risk. You know, it's a high, it can be ducked on a read, it can be stepped, right? So even there are some risk. But this string, I mean, is essentially risk-free. I say essentially because, you know, we went over some of the ways that you can get blown up for doing it. But I mean, 9 out of 10 times, if you're hit confirming this string properly, you are putting yourself at essentially 0 risk by just trying to throw this out. And that's not to say that, you know, the other Snake Eyes options, the other Heat options aren't good. They're still very good. I just wanted to make this video to really highlight how good this string is. Now, I do think, like I said, the other moves are good. 3+4, 2 is good. Forward, forward, 1+2 is good. But I think Bryan players in general have a tendency to focus way too hard on those moves. And this move is one that I think is really, really, really overpowered and is not seeing a lot of use from a lot of Bryan players. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys are going to go into ranked and go blow some people up with forward 2-1-2. Because that's what I've been doing ever since they buffed that string. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all this stuff. Send this to someone who's not using enough forward 2-1-2. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.